It is Juneteenth on this fabulous day of June 19th, my friends, which is also my mother's birthday. Happy birthday, Mama. And today, why not discuss, in my opinion, one of the greatest war films ever made, and a great subject for the importance of Juneteenth. From 1989, Glory. Released by TriStar Pictures, just being technically 5 years old at this point of its production status, spawning off from Columbia Pictures. As was just previewed, the film presents the powerful true story of the 54th Massachusetts Infantry Regiment, the second infantry regiment ever in history of African-American soldiers serving for the Union during the Civil War. The first all-black infantry being the 1st Kansas-colored infantry regiment. Way to go, Kansas! Due to the Emancipation Proclamation signed in January of 1863, more than 3.5 million enslaved people became free, and many took it upon themselves to join the Union Army to really fight for their own freedom, which famous infantry began recruiting with the help of Frederick Douglass himself in February of that same year. To lead this history-making army, Massachusetts Governor and the Department of War appoint newly promoted Colonel Robert Gould Shaw, a rich boy of Boston abolitionist, played here by the great and youthfully amiable Matthew Broderick. With the assisted commanding help of his friend Cabot Forbes, played here by Cary Elwes, whose character is actually based on the brothers Edward Needles and Penrose Hallowell. They will lead this complex army through the throes of harsh training.
You are ugly Mexican, African fucking whores!
Believing beyond the minimalist attitude that these men will not just march for politics' sake, but that they will become the greatest example of soldier that not only the Confederacy will ever experience, but the Union and infantry themselves.
And there is no doubt that we will leave this state as fine a regiment as any that has marched.
I was very lucky and grateful recently to have experienced this classic in a movie theater, restoring it in 4K, and my dear friends, how, for lack of a better word, glorious it truly was. It had been a hot minute since I had seen this film, and to experience it on the big screen as you would any film, you feel the grand scale of it all. The picture is just sprawling with detail on a wide scope, just from the battle sequences alone. Mighty thanks to its director, Edward Zwick, who was only coming off from a frickin' romantic comedy just 3 years earlier with About Last Night, but also the breathtaking cinematography by legendary Oscar-winning DP Freddie Francis, who was indeed an Army veteran himself for the English during World War II. This sweeping epic was inspired to be written for screen by writer and co-founder of the New York City Ballet, for crying out loud, Lincoln Kirstein, who had written his own novel of the 54th Regiment, Lay This Laurel, in 1973. He recruited screenwriter Lloyd Fonville to write it, but felt it was way over his head. That's why Lloyd had to introduce his friend Kevin Jarre to Kirstein, for he knew Jarre, being the history buff that he was, may he rest in peace, would kindle at the idea of this underdog story being brought to life. And Kevin Jarre's script, God bless him, is truly masterful for the time, having been inspired from the monument of Robert Shaw with his troops in the Boston Common, thus having the writing just flow with added sources from Brave Black Regiment, History of the 54th Regiment of Massachusetts Volunteer Infantry by the 54th's Captain Luis F. Emilio, Lay This Laurel, naturally, and Peter Bouchard's One Gallant Rush, on top of all the personal letters of Robert Gould Shaw wrote himself, which was plainly signified in the film's opening. Yes, it's true, many of the film's complaints and misgivings can be the fact that maybe it's taken from the lead point of view of Robert Gould Shaw, Broderick, versus majorly from the infantry. Because, I mean, why should we devote more time to the white leaders? And I believe when you watch closely, my friends, that dilemma is well played specifically by the characters Tripp and John Rawlins, played by the GOATs themselves, Denzel Washington and Morgan Freeman. Denzel representing the runaway slave that gets an opportunity to earn money as a free man, enlisted as a private, and same for John, though his heart speaks louder for the honor that it gives his race, being promoted to Sergeant Major of the Army. When you watch that scene on the campgrounds later in the film where Denzel's character Tripp is starting more trouble with massive contempt for the whole regiment and their white commanding officers, Morgan's John helping him remember what's really important at this point in their lives, it grips you to the bone. Morgan Freeman's performance is absolutely beautiful. Shocker, right? He absolutely holds a lot of the gravitas, the dramatic three-dimensional weight that this film needs, giving these characters more than just the black soldiers pulled into battle. Yes, Denzel. Oh, Denzel. We all understand why Denzel receives the love he gets for this monument-moving performance as Trip, earning him his first Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor from just that flogging scene alone, which is damn painful to watch. As an audience member, same as it was for a cast and crew member watching it on set, reportedly. Director Zwick let the whipping continue for as long as what he felt the scene needed. Yes, increasing tension. And right before he was about to yell cut was when that spontaneous teardrop fell from Denzel's eye. Perfect timing, and just a perfect arc for Trip by the very end. Without spoiling it for those of you who have not seen it, Denzel said himself that he was at first hesitant to take the role for what kind of justice would it do for black actors, let alone soldiers, until he really dug into it, like a master actor of his craft would, and realized how three-dimensional his character and Morgan was. But oh my God, Andre Braugher, in his film debut as Thomas, childhood friend of Robert, an already free man, God, his performance breaks your ever-loving heart because it is so painful to watch as well. A beautifully well-read man like him joyfully volunteer for the regiment, get his ass handed to him over and over and over. Because he's not a soldier. This is not what he is built for. It's not in his DNA as a man. But he tries and he tries and he tries, and is fueled with nothing but the will to please his friends, who push him harder and harder, and to become the best example of a soldier for his fellow comrades, knowing they can count on him in battle. Everyone's performance is fantastic. Cary Elwes, of course, and even Matthew Broderick is quite good. It was a mature step for him as a dramatic actor, as many would recognize him as still a charming kid. Ferris Bueller, for God's sakes. I have had many a love-hate relationship with Broderick, with his performance specifically here as Colonel Shaw, mainly because you can't tell me that this kid, and by kid I mean the man Broderick was 27 here when he made this, but his demeanor and even his growth as a better leader does not read as well when he has such heavy hitters acting alongside him. It was really hard for me to buy him in this role when I was much younger. But quite frankly, after this recent viewing, I have really come to respect his performance as a rich boy, a coward, actually. As we see in the opening battle he leads, and he is given the opportunity to lead such an army because of his privilege, and shows throughout the narrative how no one takes him or the battalion seriously. Like Cliff DeYoung's character, Colonel James Montgomery, tasking the 54th Regiment of just trashing and burning the city of Darien, Georgia, because they have nothing better to do. Horrendous. But slowly but surely, watching closely, you can see the subliminal touches and nuances that Broderick adds for Shaw, combating his cowardice and becoming the best leader he can be. Still imperfect.
Faster!
But better than he started, which also makes that final battle scene at Fort Wagner much more impactful. It's a good performance, though. Backstory on the filmmaking process, also kind of ridiculous knowing that Broderick's mother and then manager, Patricia Broderick, hated the script because there wasn't enough featured about Shaw. Matthew, her little baby, who should be the main vocal focus point, right? Yeah, no. Ed Zwick battled with Broderick on this constantly, as according to all sources, Matthew wanted major rewrites of the script to give him more material and backstory about Shaw, making him the absolute lead. Some scenes were filmed, even with dear Jane Alexander playing Shaw's mother, but to Zwick's confirmation, it slowed the film down, so they had to be cut. After so much deliberation, Zwick affirmed his stance that he had final cut and was not going to change the story to appease a movie star. The film was about the 54th Regiment, not Colonel Robert Gould Shaw, respectively. And as Morgan Freeman had said as well, the two, Shaw and the regiment, are inseparable. So you really make it about the team. I think that's what is still so moving about this picture, is how much heart there really is as we look into the growing respect between white and black at this pivotal point of the Civil War, but how much the infantry felt so alive, so free, so strong, as they were fighting for something bigger than just themselves. Never before had a Hollywood film shared a story of black soldiers fighting for their freedom, with the small exception of Shenandoah with Jimmy Stewart, but not on this grand scale. And being a film that was only filmed within 2 months. God, what a heavy production schedule, and with just a grand final product. Blows my mind to see such production design and shot sequences with historical accuracy, featuring extras who have worked on Civil War battle reenactments for a living and have volunteered themselves for free because the story meant so much to them. Whether you are even patriotic or not, American or not, it really is a film that will continually reinvigorate the soul of what it means to be free, to be human, really, to go outside of your own self, your own mental rat race, your own mental hamster wheel, whatever you want to call it, and do something for the greater good, thinking about and loving others more than yourself. Therefore, I give Edward Zwick's Glory an A.
Your mouth would be forth.
The film was sadly not a box office smash, losing to the likes of, dare I say it, Driving Miss Daisy.
What are you doing?
I'm trying to drive you to the stove.
Another Morgan Freeman classic, which is still hilarious, but understandable given to the time where audiences needed some crowd-pleasing happiness. 1989 was not exactly a rip-roaring positive time, shall we say. However, Glory still received 5 Academy Award nominations for Best Art Direction, Best Editing, and winning for Best Sound, yes, Best Cinematography for Freddie Francis, double yes, and Denzel. But my goodness, why on God's green earth no nomination for James Horner's immaculate, stunningly gorgeous score? I mean, Horner was nominated that year anyway for Field of Dreams, but wrong movie, guys. If you just listen to James Horner's score for this film, you will be in ocean of tears. And without that score, this film would not be as honorable. I bet my life on it. Also, why in the holy hell no nomination for Best Picture of the Year? In my humble opinion, since there were only 5 films nominated that year, you know which one we ought to swap out. Yeah, sorry folks if you love Driving Miss Daisy. But yes, that's gotta go. I mean, come on, Driving Miss Daisy over Glory? But my friends, share with me all your thoughts on Glory. Is it your favorite war film? Do you think it's even the best Civil War film ever made? Do you think Matthew Broderick sucks in this movie? Let me know in those comments. Share it all. If you like this, please click like, subscribe, and stay tuned for many more reviews and top 10s to come your way. You know you can make requests on the Patreon page. Thank you all so very much for watching and listening. Yes, today is Juneteenth, which gives us the necessity to love our fellow man of all genders and race and creed. Love conquers all, friends. Please choose love with grace, dignity, strength, and honor.